So nice to be here in this TU. It's a great atmosphere, great crowd in, and what an important game. The Sudurpachim there and do it for his team.
Yeah, you take a look at the Sudurpachim Royals as a team. They have all bases covered. Good to see Josh Brown coming into form. Scott Kugelheim with the ball has been impressive. 2 for 18 in the first, 1 for 33 in the second. Harmeet Singh, you keep talking about him as well.
Well, I really like what I'm seeing in Harmeet Singh. You know, most of the bowlers we've seen undercut the ball, so they're not going to get too much spin. But with Harmeet Singh, there's overspin on the ball. So when it pitches, not only does it pitch and turn, but he'll also get a substantial amount of bounce. Just take a look at that. Take a look at the way he delivers the ball. It's nice and high, and he's got good overspin on the ball. He doesn't really cut the ball where it comes in, and there will be no spin. So I'm really looking at him as the bowler, and batting will be absolutely, you know, his forte as well. He hits a long ball.
Yeah, we keep talking about the overseas recruits, but Sudurpachim Royals have some impressive local players. Ishan Pandey still to fire with the bat. Naren Saul is a very talented left-arm spin on the side. And then you have Hemant Dami, who generated good pace and bounce as well. He's got 3 wickets in 2 games.
Well, we've seen the premium on left arm spin, Mikhail. So the left arm spinners will really play a key role as we go into the tournament, especially now in the second week, because we're seeing the wickets getting a little tired, a lot of scruff marks. So the left arm spinner in particular will play a pivotal role in the tournament.
All right, but they're up against a side that has just created some records. They won that previous outing against the Lumbini Lions by 9 wickets and 46 balls to spare. And courtesy that first century of NPL Season 2 from the bat of Mark Watt, who ended up being Mark Wow. That's the kind of batting effort he put. That'll certainly make a good moment for NPL Season 2, but certainly instill a lot of belief and hope now in the Karnali X to go down there and get some runs and get some good wins under their belt after that first loss.
Yes, we were surprised that he came out early and batted, but how wrong were we? You know, he came out there and flayed the ball into all parts of the ground. The good thing is he was trying to hit the ball straight, and when he was hitting across the line, he was certain where he wanted to hit the ball, picked his spots, and he hit the ball in those areas. That was the heartening thing to see. You know, you need to be having a lot of plans, Mikhail, and their plans worked for them.
Yeah, in the first game, Mark Watt came in at number 3, but in the second game, he was promoted as an opener. And as an opener, he hammered 12 sixes, 6-4, that a strike rate of 259. Now, that's something that's really whirlwind and a hurricane-like knock. But good to see William Basisto, the impact that he's been making in the field. Spectacular catch. 2 good catches in the field, just rub on to the batting side of it as well, and he grew in confidence and he got good 29 runs as well with the bat in that last outing. Near perfect performance for the Karnali Axe.
Well, yes, I mean, Bosisto, we saw him take that magnificent catch. I think that's the catch of the season so far, and would probably remain the catch of the season, because just take a look at that catch. He was, you know, parallel to the ground at one stage. I mean, unbelievable effort this. And you need pieces of brilliance like this when you're playing a tournament, a T20 tournament. Like that's his second catch. I mean, it was so nice to see the commitment levels of the professionals who have come out here. Augurs well for Nepal cricket and the youngsters in particular.
Yeah, William Basisto came out to bat at number 3 in that last game, and they did really well, chasing down with 9 wickets in hand. But we keep talking about the local talent. I was really impressed with Bipin Sharma, the left-arm spinner, Yuvraj Khatri, the leg spinner.
साथीहरु सबैजनाले मलाई फलो गरिदिनु होला म तपाईहरुलाई यसरी नै फाइनल सम्म लाइभ गरेर देखाउने छु
Do the basics right and keep it honest. I think he's got a real good future.
Yeah, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds making a splash in NPL Season 2, and that's what we come forward to as well. The points table is getting interesting, but still early days. Fazal?
Well, just take a look at that. The Viratnagar Kings, 3 played, 3 wins. But Sudurpachim Royals, they're playing the 3rd game today. They've won their games, but the real problem is down at 7 and 8. The Pokhara Avengers will need to really come good now, and the Janakpur Bolts, the defending champions, they are really staring down the barrel here. They need to really come good in the tournament, especially in this big second week.
As always, we get to that stage in the show where we get into prediction time as well. As the team gets into the huddle, I'll be asking Fazal to pick his team this evening between the Yaks and the Royals.
Mikhail, I really like the way the Yaks are playing, but Sudurpachim Royals seem to be the better team on paper.
You can hear the roar. That's because the umpires have made their way to the middle, and this means we're all set for action, and the first ball to be bowled as well. A confirmation, Sompal Kami and boys, the Karnali Yaks have won the toss, and they've decided to bowl first in game number 10. Fazal, as always,
साथीहरु गेम फेरि गर्नेछु लाइभ तर सायद म काट्ने छैन तर फलो गरेर जोडिनु है साथीहरु ल ल अब म बोल्दिन तपाईहरु चुपचाप मजाले गेम हेर्नु तपाईहरुलाई नि म डिस्टर्ब गर्दिन बीचमा मैले बोल्यो भने तपाईहरुलाई डिस्टर्ब हुन सक्छ है अब म बोल्दिन फलो गर्नुस् मेन कुरा फलो गर्नुस् शेयर गर्नुस् ल है साथीहरु
batting first, strange enough. He does happen to get on the correct side of the coin flip. He will chase because it's a thing that they did like to do last year, but I'm still favouring the men in yellow. So choice, you got the Yaks.
Well, they're the rules that I signed up for, HD. I'm used to it. Binod Bandari will open things up with that MS Dhoni-like-esque keeper batter, number 7 on the back in yellow. All the shades of the Chennai Super Kings. And then he will open the batting alongside a young cricketer still, because he's young in terms of his journey into the professional game, with the most fascinating background story. There he is, Josh Brown from Brisbane. I was talking to him in my end-of-day wrap the other day. I was telling you this off air, HD. Incredible story. Was playing a thing called warehouse cricket, which isn't even at the level of indoor cricket, which is quite keenly competed upon down in Australia. Someone saw him hitting the ball in warehouse cricket and said, why don't you play a bit of grade cricket? He started out in the Northern District's 5th 11, and within 3 years he's made it through up to the Big Bash, and of course that big century he made in that has catapulted him into franchise leagues like this around the world. Sompal Kami, as always, is going to take the new ball. Interesting to see how much spin they bowl, having watched what happened in the first game of the day. We feel this pitch is going to be a little bit slow, and it might be difficult to score upon. Here comes the countdown. There's already a phenomenal atmosphere in the ground as the Sudurpachim Royals come back into action. They've only lost 2 games in their MPL history. No doubt they're the favourites, but the Yaks, the talk of the town, thanks to that Mark Watt century, will be looking to upset the odds in this Far West Derby. We're all set for play. Let's go. Got him! Oh, first ball! And they can't catch Kami right now. Look at the smile, as broad as the sun. It's definitely kept a bit low. Brown likes to hit into the leg side, and for the second time in 3 innings here in the MPL, he's gone for a duck.
Yeah, well, it keeps a little bit low, but he plays all around it, really. It's at the top of off stump, and that is the perfect start for the Yaks. Well, Josh Brown goes without scoring. He's gesticulating that it's swung away, seam back.
विंटर में ड्राई स्किन दिखे ऐसी पर फील हो ऐसी, सिर्फ मॉइस्चर डीप रिपेयर पॉन्ड्स लाइट मॉइस्चराइजर के साथ। इसमें है सेराहाइमिनो, जिसका मॉइस्चराइजिंग ट्रिपल कॉम्बो हर लेयर को मॉइस्चराइज करके ड्राइनेस रिपेयर करे, सॉफ्ट स्मूथ स्किन दिखे ऐसी और फील हो ऐसी। Nothing moisturizes like Pond.
Missing leg. What a start, a dream start for the Karnali Yaks, led by their captain Sompal Kami.
Let's have a look at the movement here. No, I'm not sure that swung away and seam back. I think it's just skiddy. His bat sort of comes from mid-wicket and gets nowhere near, not mid-wicket, excuse me, gully, but gets nowhere near the line of the actual ball. Oh well.
Oh, how's this one missed? It's almost an action replay. This may well have shaved the off stump.
I wouldn't be getting caught in the crease here. If I was Chris Lynn, I'd be getting down the wicket, playing forward. See, the feet are nowhere. Sampal Kami whacks it in back of a length, but he's just getting the ball to skid on about stump height. Maybe just a yard outside the crease and look to get forward. Look to hit Sampal Kami back past him.
Gartry did well there, the keeper too. Oh, excellent. Such a good athlete, Sampal Kami. Keeps himself as fit as a fiddle. Really leading from the front in this first over with the ball in hand and now in the field too.
If the first few deliveries are any indication, and the previous game is any indication, maybe Faz is right that 160 is a little too much, and maybe a 145, 150 is defendable.
This is such a good over, isn't it? Immaculate lines and lengths. Remember what trouble the Royals were in that first game. Their first game of the season, that is match number 4. They were 27 for 4. They were also 72 for 6. And then Harmeet Singh found a willing ally in Dipendra Singh Airi. And from nowhere, he exploded with the second fastest 50 in the history of the Nepal Premier League. It got them up to 147. And it ended up being far too many for the Kathmandu Gorkhas, who came up short by 29 runs. It's a wicket maiden to get things going, and listen to the reaction. None for one.
Hydration. वेटलेस और क्लाउड सॉफ्ट नया वैसलीन क्लाउड सॉफ्ट क्रीम सेरेमाइड हाइलुरॉन मॉइस्चर फिलर्स के साथ जो आपकी स्किन को दे 10 गुना ज्यादा हाइड्रेशन अंदर से नॉन स्टिकी और फास्ट अब्सॉर्बिंग टेक्सचर में प्लम
Kami have seen it differently and have opened with pace from both ends.
You've also got to have the ammunition. You know, you've got to have the amount of spinners. The Bolts had 5 spinners in their team. You know, so there's that luxury that you know that you can bowl them in the middle overs because you've got enough. Some of the other teams may feel, well, look, we've only got 2 frontliners or 3. We need to use them in the middle overs. So let's just try and get the best of what we can with our seamers while the ball's still new.
Nicely played, finds the gap and will find the first runs in the shape of the first boundary. Conventional cricket strokes, not a bad way to go when the surface is difficult. And this is a good back foot punch for 4.
Yeah, not an awful gap between the man at backward point and a cover. He does well to find that hole between the two of them. Now an extra fielder comes in to the covers. Slip goes out. I don't mind that either because I don't know if the ball can get to slip. It's not bouncing.
Just different kinds of actions, aren't they? Sampal Kami, who's so much lower with his arm angle compared to Nandan Yadav, who comes in and as a consequence of that cricket he's played down in Australia, hits the surface. So if anyone's going to get any bounce out of the pitch, it will be Nandan Yadav.
Yeah, one quite short in stature as well.
You can see with that look at his action as to why Stuart Law likes him, the Australian head coach of the national side. Everything is bowled into the surface. So as a consequence, there is a bit more pace and bounce for Bandari and Lynn to work with. I think if he bowls one there to Lynn, Lynn may well take him on. A very good slower ball as well. It's one of the main reasons he's forced his way into that international reckoning. It's one of the big gifts that the Nepal Premier League has given the nation from a cricketing perspective too, not just the hype and the flair and the festival atmosphere, but it's given players like Nandan Yadav a reason to come home, a reason to come back from Australia to try their chance and be a full-time cricketer.
I do think that's better from Lynn, trying to get onto that front foot, hit the ball in front of him, and if they choose to whack it halfway down, there's not enough pace in the surface that's going to worry Chris Lynn. He'll still be able to bounce off that front foot and whack it over square leg. But the last thing you want to be doing is playing back here, getting caught in the crease.
Just one final Australian note for the over as well. Just met a fan in the crowd who's flown in from Brisbane for 2 weeks to come to every game he could. He's got 10 consecutive days of tickets. There is a bit of bounce there again from Yadav. Well bowled. Just the 6 from the over. 6 for 1. From Yadav, well bowled. Just the 6 from the over. Well, the sun just peeping behind. I think looking out that way, that might be the Chandragiri Hills there. I know you don't have the greatest head for heights, do you, HT? But got to get you up that cable car, up the Chandragiri Hills. You get the full look over the valley and up towards the mountains.
Going up the staircase of a double-story house gives me the shakes. So I'm not quite sure that would be my cup of tea.
State-of-the-art cable car, one of the best in the world is what they've called it. The engineers have come in.
I am from Cape Town, where there's a cable car.
Finds the gap and will find 4. It's trademark Chris Lynn. Not quite sure why Cammy's gone to that length when having such success a little fuller, but Lynn responds in kind, just as you were describing.
Same delivery that he got to Brown, which was almost the back of a length delivery, hitting the top of off stump, where most batters would think it would come around waist high, stomach height. But Lynn now sort of getting a feel of it, isn't he? Just looking to get forward.
Into the slots, and Lynn does enough. Mark Watt for half a moment was interested, but Lynn just has that power and has that quality to get it up and over mid-off.
Well, everyone was jumping here Watt briefly jumped. Lin jumps. Oh, and I think Sompol Kami even has a little jump.
And collectively, they've forced it by sheer will of nature, just up and over the head. Great reactions all around. Oh, says Chris Lynn. And another overseas player loving his time in Kathmandu thus far. No timing at all. Long on is out, so it'll just be a single. How big a factor is the crowd for these players? Chris Lynn's been to probably, what, 15 or 20 countries playing cricket, but they don't get to play in front of crowds like this altogether too often.
Huge. I think it's massively behind the success of this tournament and why overseas players will want to come here more and more. Bigger names, better names will want to come here because it inspires you. When you play in front of no one, it doesn't matter how much you want to win. Sometimes you can just get a little bit down and it just doesn't inspire you.
Yeah, as a consequence, even though you're trying to raise your game, you can just feel flat. Bandari will pick up a couple here, not the greatest piece of fielding. Priyank Panchal, who just escorts it 30 yards away.
I mean, raising your bat to 10,000 is a lot better than raising your bat to 3.
And as a consequence, HD, that it's really the USP of the league here, isn't it? The fervour, the passion, the pride, the hype, and the hype is a big part of it. We all see your passion on social media, and that's from every corner of the country, all the way from the far west, like the derby you're watching here, out to the far east. We saw the Eastern Derby this morning where the Kings have stayed unbeaten. It's been a sensational start to the tournament. The Royals 18 for 1. Talk about the pride. You can see the national pride on show there. There was also a big roar whilst you might have been away on the break in between the overs because Mark Watt's name was announced. Amazing how one innings can change your life. Mark Watt's a pretty level-headed character. I'm not saying it's going to change him as a person, but it might change the scale of opportunities that he will get going forward. Could not believe he wasn't signed in season 1. It made no sense whatsoever to me, given his calibre and his quality of left-arm spin. But the surprise factor for you and I was the quality of that innings the other day.
So what will happen once it gets the ICC tick? Now you can have as many test playing players as you want. Does that limit the opportunities? Does that limit the opportunities for the associate players, or do you still say, hang on a second, there might have to be some restrictions to overseas players? Limit.
Actually, you've got quite a lot of value now for a lot of franchise tournaments because you don't quite play the same volume of cricket as some of the full member nations. As a consequence, they can be available, let's say, for the full 4 weeks, the full festival here in the Himalayas. Good diving stop and extra cover. And also, you've got to remember, in this league and in the ILT20, there is baked into it a dedicated associate spot for each of the 8 teams. Now, I think a lot of teams will end up taking more than one associate. And what you're talking about there, just to explain it to viewers back home, right now there's a limitation of 4 full member players who have played internationally in the last 2 years across the entire league. The talk is next year that will go. But I wouldn't expect it to change things too much. I do think we'll probably see, obviously, hopefully, a lot more current full member internationals, but still think the league will keep its associate feel. It's almost, in some ways, the associate Premier League, isn't it? Particularly when you see the scale of interest in the competition and the fan fervour. It's great to see, very heartening. Just 3 runs from Watts first, 21 for 1. Not a seat to be got for love nor money. A reminder that, well, if you can get on and get a ticket for this week, you've done well, because I've been told it's completely sold out. But the week after, find a way to get onto that Calty app, download it, and get your tickets so you can experience this in person. Here's the youngster. He was one of the breakout players of season 1, and he started season 2 nicely. Spent about 5 minutes just watching him bowl in the warm-ups, HD. And one of the things I was so struck by is the strength of his action. Can't remember a left-arm spinner I've seen that comes that high up into their bound. It's almost a little bit old school, but it seems to be very effective for the young man. Coaches will call this the bound. It used to be the gather, didn't it? It's the bound now. But he's very, very effective in terms of his accuracy as well. I like his action. Just have a look at how high he gets there.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily disagreeing, because I'm certainly no expert when it comes to left arm orthodox, but I think that that high bound limits him from getting over his front leg. I think he lands and he collapses and he bowls the ball from quite low. And I think he can be assisted by trying to get over his front leg.
Oh, this is close, but is there bat involved? No, there's not. Bandari takes a decision and simply trudges off. If there's no bat, it's surely going to go on and cannon into the stumps. And Bipin strikes in his first over. Spin works again. No turn at all, just skids on.
Yeah, flat, quick, and out.
And isn't he pumped up and delighted with that? Ever since he started in this Nepal Premier League, the teenager just keeps taking wickets. Gone for 11, 23 off, 23 for 2. Arif Sheikh to the crease, who, well, being frank, is not at the best time of things in his Nepal Premier League career, especially given he actually found himself back in the T20 international squad. He's a much better ODI player, there's no doubt about that. Very composed cricketer. He's got great ODI numbers, but he needs to show his wares in the shorter format to have any chance of getting into the mix for India.
Well, his job here is to get Lynn on strike. Not now, because there's only one delivery remaining. But Lynn's the threat.
Single to close out the 5th, 24 for 2. Two early wickets, both openers back in the hutch. Yeah, the reason why there was no complaints from Binod Bandari about that LBW decision, it was a very good one. There was a couple of noises, but it was pad onto back pad. Mark Watt's going to continue. The trial by spin will continue. He would have made the Royals big favourites coming into today's contest, given their recent pedigree. But it feels like a big toss to win. The pressure is building up as the sequence of dots is not being broken, and despite Chris Lynn being at the crease now, 17 balls without a boundary. But a bit of a shift in the commentary box. Fazil Khalil has come and joined me. Fazil, certainly has been a strong start for the Yaks. What I heard you say in the pre-game show was that they probably don't need 160 that Dipender Singh Airi wants, given the surface we're on this afternoon.
It's certainly not that kind of surface where you can get 160. If you can get 160, you perhaps can get 180. But this is more a 145, 150 wicket, in my opinion. And with the way they've started, the Royals, it seems that way as well. We're just inside that power play. And with the spinners in operation, Lenny, they are finding it a little difficult to get it off the square.
And a reminder for those, as we just look at this LBW again, I think it's a clever piece of bowling. Me and H.G. Ackerman were analysing the young man's action. A great diving stop. Cammy has really led from the front. That's 3 runs saved. A reminder for those just tuning in, the Kings defended 135 on the same pitch in the afternoon game. How good is Cammy here?
Oh, brilliant. He saved at least 3 runs, maybe a couple. Definitely a great piece of fielding there, leading by example.
End of the power play. It's a power play that very much belongs to the bowling side, as the Royals are left behind the 8 ball again. 27 for 2. Four bowlers used thus far. 2 seamers, 2 spinners, and the spinners are going to have a big say. Expect to see William Basisto bowl at some point. With his off breaks, he's continued to hold his place in the 11 ahead of Max O'Dowd. Probably unlucky to miss out after just the 1 game. And we've been given the most beautiful picture yet again as the sun just starts to creep towards the top of the hills to our right, as Vinay Kumar Jha will signal the end of the power play. Just wonder where else they might turn in terms of spinners. Yuvraj Khatri, the leg spinner, I'd expect to see at some point. This young left-arm spinner, we were talking about his unique action earlier. The last thing you want to do is change a young bowler. He has his own method, he has his own way of approaching his bowling. He's very accurate, very economical. But he's always going to challenge the inside edge, isn't he? Not the outside. And the bat saves it here.
I like the way he immediately showed the bat to the umpire, perhaps having a word with him. Let's take a look at that again. Well, it's always going to come in with the arm with this left-arm spinner, Andy. I will tell you why. That's the inside edge, the umpire coming and just having a quiet word with the batsman and telling him relax with it. And the reason why I say it will come in with the arm is because I'll just pick up the single, because there's a lot of side spin on the ball from the left-arm spinner. And there's no overspin, as I was talking about in the pre-show. You'll see Harmeet Singh with a bit of overspin, which will get the ball to not only turn but bounce as well. Once you start undercutting the ball, then it does come in and it will never go away.
Yeah, I think the point that HD was making to me just in his previous over was that as batters get to face Bipin more and more, they'll probably play him a bit like a seamer and get more and more used to him. But certainly I wouldn't want to change his method at all right now, because it's so effective for a kid who's, what, 17 years of age still. Incredibly accurate. causing all sorts of problems.
Well, I agree with you when you say you don't want to change the natural gift that the bowler has, but if you want to change anything, this is the age to do it. At 16, 17, perhaps 18, and after that nothing can change. Bumrah is a case in point.
Look at that run rate, just a fraction over 4 runs per over. They're going to need Chris Lynn to get going as Arif Sheikh has started slowly again. 30 for 2.
यार घाटा कर दिया तूने मैंने और नहीं तो क्या तूने ही कहा था म्यूचुअल फंड सही है म्यूचुअल फंड सही है भाई पेशेंस म्यूचुअल फंड ना इस मैच की तरह है कभी रन रेट ऊपर कभी थोड़ा सा नीचे शानदार शॉट सीधे वर्मा जी के गैलरी म्यूचुअल फंड्स की पिच पर जितना टाइम टिका रहेगा फायदा होने के चांसेस उतने बढ़ेंगे सही है म्यूचुअल फंड्स में पेशेंस रखना सही
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें
What a beautiful sight that is. Stunning. We're up in the land of the gods here. Simply sensational scene. Not too many more beautiful cricket grounds in the world than this one. As we see Rispin come in and immediately be dispatched down the ground. One bounce. Quite the greeting from Arif Sheikh to Yuvraj Khatri.
Well, absolutely as stunning as that little sunset piece that we saw. Arif Sheikh. The good part was he was always looking to hit the ball straight. There it is. He loaded up well, down on one knee. He wasn't proposing, but he still gets down on one knee and gets the boundary that he was so looking forward to. 34 for 2. What a beautiful view of the Chandragiri Hills, as they're called.
Messi worked into the leg side. Sheikh wants the second. Lynn doesn't. We're still yet to see batters use their feet against the spinners today. Why is that? Why have players been staying so deep in this crease on what's a difficult pitch?
You make such a valid point. Such a point you make that a good batsman should always use his feet and come down to smother the ball. Not that occasion. You can rock back, misfield there. We saw the left-arm spinners toss the ball up in the earlier games, and we didn't see one batsman who came down and tried to dominate the bowler by using his feet. You make a really good point. That's the way to play spin bowling. Use your feet.
In fact, the only time I remember a batter using their feet at all today was to the seamers. Now, I know the keeper's up to the stumps. I know technically you're bringing stumps into the game. We haven't seen that much side spin today. Tended to see just slightly lower bounce, but because the batters haven't been using their feet, it's just allowing particularly the finger spinners who are more accurate just to get into their rhythm and bowl and bowl and bowl away.
Yes, we didn't see too much of turn from the finger spinners, understandably so. This pitch has had a 1 day's rest before we get into the second week, but this boy on the screen, Yuvraj, should be able to get a little bit of turn, if any, because being a wrist spinner, he'll get the maximum purchase off the deck.
Picked up into the leg side. There is a fielder right there. It's not the greatest delivery. Look at the celebration. He's got the shoe off and he's dialing a phone number. The teenager, unbelievable stuff. He is pumped up. Get that boot back on, Yuvraj. He's taken the biggest wicket of his young career. That of Chris Lynn. No one will remember how it's come. It's got his way.
Well, they're just not coming on to the bat and keeping a trifle low. Straight down the throat of Bosisto. Just take a look at that. That's a celebration and a half, isn't it? All these kids have their own way of doing things, and I really like a very ingenious way of doing it. Chris Lynn will depart after flattering to deceive. 18 of 20, 39 for 3 and 8.
Left-hander to the crease, the good doctor himself, Ishan Pandey. I think he's a very talented young man, very bright young man as well. A little bit like Arif Sheikh though, he's a bit more suited probably to the 50-over format. So they're going to hold Dipendra Singh Airi back to try and get that left-hand, right-hand combo going. Jagat Tamata always has flexibility in every order he sets. Iconic Nepali cricket coach. He's just deflected around the corner. Should be time for a couple. They'll get back comfortably despite Nandan Yadav's throw. End of the 8th, it's 41 for 3. And plenty of batters struggling again for the 3rd consecutive innings. Feels like a different sort of surface that we've seen throughout the first week, where we saw plenty of high scores. Today has been a grind. It's been attritional stuff for anyone who's been out there. As Will Basisto, as we thought, will come in to bowl his off breaks. Misfield will allow the boundary. Yadav gets down but can't get anything behind it, and Arif Sheikh gets his trademark sweep out for 4.
Well, really poor fielding this. He should have stopped that. Should have been no run. There it is. It was hit fiercely. Just awkwardly bouncing in front of the fielder. And 4 bonus runs for Arif.
Always love the passion and fervour on show here, not just from the fans but the players too. Now what about this from the youngster? Wasn't the greatest delivery, but it's done enough to deceive Chris Lynn. Well held by Basisto. He can't believe what he's done. And now look at this, off comes the shoe. Tabraiz Shamsi, eat your heart out, calling home, Mum, Dad, I've got the big one, I've got Chris Lynn.
He's just got that innocence about him, isn't it? Just take a look at Will Basisto. 9 wickets, 6 for 28. His best.
Sure you remember the Dill scoop as the single is taken on. This is close. I think Karnali think as though they might have their man. He's always had a good arm, Nandan Yadav. Direct hit was definitely gone, even without it. It's going to be close. Gulshan Jah says that one's out.
Well, I think it was very close as well. Let's take a look at that. In brilliant position here, both the bowler and the umpire. He's gone. He's gone for all money. Durganath Subedi. I like the way he was in front of the stumps, collected it in front and hastened it onto the stumps. Brilliant by Basisto, and the umpire too was in a very good position. Nandan Yadav got the throw in well. Dr. Pandey, see you later. He's gone for 2. Now in serious trouble at 46 for 4.
Here comes the skipper, Tiger himself, with his team in trouble, not for the first time this season. He's got a prolific record here in this competition, striking at a run and a half per ball and pushing up towards 300 runs in his history. And will need the captain at his best again, because he's been brought to the crease due to I'm not quite sure what the thinking was with the run out. We saw Isham Pandey talking to Arif Sheikh as he walked off. Whose call was this?
Well, irrespective of whose call it was a brilliant piece of fielding, great take by Bosisto, the umpire in position, top-class cricket. And I like this picture. I really do, Andrew, because it shows how unified they are as a team. Really happy for each other's success.
Ball played, go! Let's celebrate a single dot ball.
Really nice celebrations. Nice to see them happy with each other. Be happy with each other's success.
Just going to be the single. Always a bit of chaos when Irie gets to the crease. That's the end of the over. It's 47 for 4. So impressed by Guyan Endramala. Everything he has done since he retired from cricket has been leading towards this moment. It's another thing that's so brilliant about this Nepal Premier League, the coaching opportunities. Not just for the overseas coaches. A fantastic diving stop from Cam. He can't prevent the single. He's come in as the assistant coach now to Stuart Law for the national team. And he is so calm and composed. See him there deep in discussion with Max O'Dowd.
Just take a look at the involvement by them. That's the key. The involvement, the commitment. A good player for Nepal in his day. 48 for 4, 49 for 4. I'm really impressed with the young leggy 1 for 13 in the second over. Has them guessing if he can get the big man out here, the Tiger.
Yeah, it's funny as well for a young leg spinner, because it's the most difficult art. I've seen it so well myself. And what you might feel might be a good delivery in terms of exactly where you're trying to land on a line and length. On a surface like today, it might not be where you actually want to bowl. That's better. Bowling it into the surface is more difficult. So you might think it's a short ball. You might not think it's as good in terms of what you practice all the time in the nets. But actually, that's why Chris Lynn holed out to the deep. It got stuck in the surface. It didn't come on in the way in which he expected it to. And that's why he's got that moment he'll never forget.
Well, I completely agree with you. You don't want to be full. You don't want to be short. You want to be short of good length. That's where you need to be. The 50 for the Sudurpachim Royals coming up in the 10th over. Really good batting this. Need a good innings from their skipper Dipendra Singh Irie. He's the Tiger in the team, and that man at 7, Harmeet Singh, play a huge role the back half of this innings.
Particularly with the fact he's a left-hander, and there's still overs to come from the likes of Bipin Sharma and Mark Watt. He'll be taking on the left-arm spinners. Gets us to the end of the 10th over. Gets us to the halfway stage, and it's time for the expert education strategic timeout. The score is 52 for 4. Spinners. Gets us to the end of the 10th over. Gets us to the halfway stage, and it's time for the expert education strategic timeout. The score is 52 for 4.
Well, this venue is going into a tizzy, and I'll tell you what, everyone's breaking into a step as well, because it's excitement all the way, entertainment all the way. NPL Season 2 is up and rolling, and it's capturing everyone's imagination. And what a match playing out. The Yaks have certainly found the rhythm. Good toss to win. On the back foot are the Sudurpachim Royals. A very good evening, HD Ackerman.
Mikel, well, it depends if you're a fan of the Yaks or a fan of the Royals, what sort of an evening it is. Because they're in a real spot of bother. 53 for 4 after 10. Yes, the pitch is not playing as well as it has over the last few days. It's keeping a little bit low. It's a little bit slow. So there's work to be done for the men in yellow.
Yeah, this is what you come for. Two young spinners, a 17-year-old and 18-year-old. Between Bipin and Yuvraj, and the 4 overs between them have taken 2 big wickets and conceded only 22 runs. Not the best time to be in the yellow camp at the moment. There's a lot of quality left in this batting lineup. And they'll keep running as long as Iris. They'll always push for the second and keep the fielders on their toes.
And Arif needs to be really aware of that. I'm sure he will. He knows Dipendra Singh very well, but he turns 1s into 2s, 2s into 3s. I wouldn't be surprised if he could run 4 on this small ground.
+1 the HD. Just goes to show how difficult run scoring has been, just like how it was in the afternoon. Only 5 fours in the first 10 overs.
Yeah, it's just keeping a little bit on the low side now. You know, there's a lack of pace. Players want the ball coming on. The pitch has been magnificent for the first week. Maybe, just maybe, the 3 that have been used now, we've had some lovely days. They're just getting, I suppose you term it, a little bit tired.
They had a break day last evening, HD. Thought I'd remind you about that.
Yeah, we did, but the pitch probably didn't.
All right then. Yeah, he's been trying that shot, just drifting down leg. Bipin will have to find that length and line early now.
You know, very difficult for the curator to get moisture into the surface. And they almost give it a sprinkle, because there's no real heat around it. The sun's out, but it's still quite cool. So they can't sort of flood the wicket, can they? I've got a sneaky feeling we'll be moving to the unused ones pretty soon.
Yeah, you spoke about the first week. We saw it all. 200 plus, 190 plus, 147 being defended. We saw a century as well. Today we almost saw a 5-4 from Sandeep Lamichhane. Yeah, good over. 7 coming off at 60 for 4. Yeah, he's been right on top of his game this evening, not just as a bowler but captain as well. Great changes, as many as 6 bowlers used. The projected score, they go at 11, they'll get to 160. But the spinners are calling the shots this evening. Good call, good running. Just let's get some perspective from the Yaks camp. Jeskro standing by, Deepak Dumre alongside her.
That's right, I'm joined here on the boundary side by Deepak Dumre. Deepak, the team have taken 4 wickets so far. What have you made of the performance?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. The way what we want to start is going great. We want to take more little wickets.
Excellent. And the crowd here tonight is electric. What's it like seeing these guys come out in numbers?
Always a pleasure to see all of them. They always there to support their teams. that's pretty good to see.
Excellent. And now sharing the dressing room with the big name international overseas signings, what's that been like for you?
Yeah, no, first I would like to thank Ken and officials, NPL, for giving us a great opportunity. We are very thankful for this opportunity. Yeah.
We got to say, perfect. And now playing in the Under-19 World Cup in 2023 then, how does that prepare you for a huge event like this? Lots of cheering going on.
What?
We'll come back after the cheering. There we go. So how did the World Cup prepare you for an event like this?
Yeah, first Under-19 we have
That's okay. That's okay. All good. Well, go well to say. I hope the team do very well, and thank you very much for chatting to me. Thank you. Back to comms.
Thank you very much, Jess. That was a very fine little chat with a very young and a promising cricketer from Nepal, Deepak Dumre. He'll have a role to play later on for the Yaks. And what a four from the bat of Arif Sheikh for the previous delivery. Proper cricketing shot.
It was beautifully controlled, wasn't it? Got on top of the bounce. Just a lovely sweep stroke.
Irie takes off and finds the cow corner region. The first 6 of the innings for the Royals, and it comes from the bat of their captain. What a way to end over. Number 12, 13 coming off it. It's 73 for 4. If you're not at the venue, you have a chance to download the official OTT streaming platform app, and that's Dish Home Go, and you can watch the Nepal Premier League 2025 streaming worldwide except India. So go there and download and subscribe the app right away. You don't want to miss out on the next 3 weeks of action. Nandan Yadav, a very good inspired effort in the field to inflict a run out of Ishan Pandey. He'll come on to bowl some pace and offer. That 6 would have certainly helped Dipendra's confidence. He got 39 in the first game. Didn't get many runs in the second. He's been found wanting with the bat in the competition. Oh, drags it on. Nandan strikes. This is a lovely moment here for the Yaks. Half the side back in the dugout for the Royals. And they're on the bat at the moment.
A chop on normally indicates that the ball's a little bit too close to cut. This does nip back, but again, it's that bounce. It's skiddy, it's not steep, and it's very difficult to play square of the wicket on a surface where it's skiddy. Arif Sheikh pays the price. He's chopped on for 27, 73 for 5. $73 for 5.
Stadium, wickets falling in a heap.